welcome back to a very special episode of the Just Listen to Jack podcast. I have here today one of my oldest and dearest friends, Yvette. Say hi, Yvette.
Hi. Hi.
And I brought her on today because she has a very special story to share with us. And thank you first and foremost for being here today. I love you. I really am just so amazed that you're going to share with us today because it's a very personal story and it has a very important message that I think everyone needs to hear. So thank you for being here today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
No tears yet?
No, I know.
Okay.
I know.
So how long have we known each other?
Oh, the good old years of Chico's.
Yeah.
It started. That's where it all started.
That's
remember.
where our story began. That's where our paths crossed.
That's where our paths crossed.
Yeah.
It's amazing how people come into your life at certain times when you don't even realize that you needed them at that time.
Yeah, that's...
wow. And I think I even told you this. I remember asking God because when I was in high school, I had a really great friend of mine, and his name was Hector. And I knew that he was gay, but I just loved him, and I prayed. It was so funny that before you even started, I said, God, can you just bring me a guy best friend, please? And then I swear within like months, and I remember you walking in, and I was like, is this someone?
That's what I asked for. Well, first of all, I'm not gay. I don't know, what assumptions you're making.
Okay. But no, and of course we clicked
Right away.
You were looking at me like, I'm going to get
a hold of this girl.
I'm going to get a hold of this girl. That blonde's going to go.
Yes.
Everything.
I always tell, every time I have my friends on, and I've actually had amazing people come into my life, just people that I've worked with and people that I've come across that, like you said, the people that cross your path are in your life for a reason. And I just have been so blessed with amazing people coming into my life. And so like Yvette is one of those people who came into my life at a time that was just, it was a change for me of work life and home life. It was just, I don't know, it just everything happened for a reason. That's what I always believe. Everything happens for a reason. There are no coincidences at all.
Totally.
But as she was saying, we did work in like this fashion boutique for older women, for more mature women, right? Yes. And so, we had to be a little bit more dressed up there.
Yes.
So, some of us, dressed better than others.
Yes.
Some of us.
And I was learning too. I think growth was surely happening with me.
Right.
It was happening, and there's things that, or there's items that I thought that I was just looking absolutely amazing in, but according to Jack, I wasn't, and it wasn't flattering, and I get it.
Yes,
because
get it now.
I get it now.
Yeah.
Because those words are what I say now, and that I'm still in the retail business. I'm still helping other women style,
live their best life, look the best they can. It's a full circle moment for you here. You're telling people advice that was given to you.
Exactly. And do you see? I did absorb it.
She did.
I learned.
Yvette is one of my students who actually listened. Okay. It took a while. It took a lot of, brow beatings. It took a lot of hands-on training with her.
I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I was stuck.
Yeah.
I was stuck.
She
I was
was
stuck in an era. I was stuck in.
What year was that you were stuck in?
It had to be late 80s, early 90s.
Yes, it
Okay,
was.
I get it. I was stuck. And a lot of women are stuck.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
And so it's so nice to branch out, but some people like myself and baby steps.
And that's, the whole point of my podcast is, I always have guests on here who are going through an evolution. What's going through the next step, going through the evolution, reaching their full potential, their higher self. And as you mentioned, you were at a time in your life where there's a lot of change that has happened.
Yes.
So I kind of want to start from there because that's kind of where our story began. And I think that was kind of a really important time in your life where you were going through a lot of major changes at that particular time.
Yes.
So I think that's a good place to start.
Okay, let me go back.
Let's get ready.
Okay, yes, there.
Yeah.
It was new. What I describe myself as, especially at that time, was I was a bird in a cage. Okay, I was a bird in a cage, and the bird was very content in the cage and knew where she could go, where she couldn't fly, she couldn't do much. Well, the bird left the cage, and there was a universe out there,
right.
and the bird didn't really know how to fly. The little bird didn't know where to go, what direction to even start in. So that's where I was at that time. And like I said, I was stuck, first of all, in my era. Again, I was going through a lot, especially emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was sabotaging myself, or I wasn't making good choices. And the choices that I made were, for one thing, they were not consciously thought of.
Yeah.
I was under the influence practically, I would say, 4-5 years of my life that I lost.
That you lost. Yeah.
That I lost. And I realize that now.
Yeah.
And when I hear new women being divorced or going through the divorce, I'm like, wait a minute. Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing is, great. When I hear this growth, when I hear that they're going to school or trying something, or when I hear that when they mention God, when they mention either a higher power, like, I was lost. There was nothing.
Yeah.
There was no spirituality in me. There was no. I was brought up Catholic. I did the traditional things that a Catholic girl should do. Went to Catholic school. I know all the prayers.
Yeah.
And you can
You've
say all the
confessed.
words. Yeah, exactly.
You've done your confessions.
You did.
You know your act of contrition. You know your Our
Exactly.
Fathers, Hail Marys.
Exactly. But it's totally different. Yeah. When you don't have any type of spirituality at that time. When you want to better yourself. And
exactly.
I was just digging this hole. And
now, you kind of started this podcast off, and Yvette is a coffee drinker. She has to have her caffeine and her sugar. We don't have her creamer today. We don't have her hazelnut.
Coffee mate
hazelnut creamer, yes. But we improvised here today. Is it good?
Yes, it's good.
It's good. Okay,
it's good.
But
Sorry.
The reason that I really wanted to bring Yvette on, and you probably don't know at this point what we're going to be talking about, but this is what we're about to talk about is something that has affected both our lives, very great in different ways, but with a lot of with very deep and I don't want to say this. what we're going to talk about today is alcoholism. And I'm just going to, share with you guys a little bit. And I don't know if you knew this. I don't know if we've talked about this, but my father was an alcoholic, and he died from alcoholism, from cirrhosis of the liver. And, I wasn't raised by my father, but, anytime that I was around my father, he was under the influence. And, you grow up with that fear as a child that, you're taking a look at your future, because, that you come from that person. So in meeting Yvette and having that upbringing of alcoholism in the family, and seeing it in somebody, it is very, me, I'm a fixer.
Yes.
Is that a bit? I'm a fixer.
Yes.
I want to fix things. I want to make things better. I want to help you get to that next level.
At that moment.
Yes.
At that moment.
Whether you want to or
exactly.
not. So, that's what, and again, thank you for sharing, for being able to share a very personal story. But,
I love to share.
Yeah.
I think it helps me and keeps me sober, because I need to remember those dark days.
Yeah.
Because I don't fiend. I don't go, like when I go through the wine aisle, I am not fiending. I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm sorry, but I hate you.
Yeah.
I'm going down but it's like, you don't have me anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have anything over me anymore. It's a different thing. When I was in my sickness, I would look down, which one can I buy? Well, how am I going to hide it?
Yeah.
It became a hiding game, and
so that
was awful.
You're kind of getting into the behaviors of like an alcoholic, but let's start from the beginning with, like kind of where you were at when we were at Chico's, and kind of where you were at in your alcoholism at that time.
At that time, well, I was drinking every day. It was me being the alcoholic, and a woman. I used to love Miller Lights. Miller Lite was my drink.
Mm-hmm.
Miller Lite got me 20 pounds heavier. So the alcoholic in me had to switch. Okay, so then I discovered wine. Oh, shoot, this is the good stuff. I could get just as
buzz.
Yeah, buzz.
At first. Yeah.
Just as buzz as I could with my 18-pack. I could have, a couple of glasses. It started off with glasses. And I'm like, this.
Probably less calories.
Yes.
Less liquid.
Calories, higher alcohol. I mean, as an alcoholic, you start reading labels. You start reading, wow, this has a lot more alcohol in it than anything else.
Yeah.
I didn't touch hard liquor. I didn't touch that yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't touch that because I was afraid of it.
Yeah.
I was afraid of it because I had seen other people in my family react to it in a way that I didn't like. It was an anger trigger, so it scared me. So I stuck with wine a lot. And at that time, I was a wine drinker.
Yeah.
I think it was oozing out of my system like no other, but I could function.
Yeah.
I was a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah, she was definitely functioning at a very high level. She was part of our job at the time to do commission sales, and I mean, she was just amazing at it. She had it down. She was doing her thing.
You taught me well. You taught me things that I did. Like, I knew on myself, if I tried things on, accentuate your waist, excuse me. I mean, I say that all the time. You want to show off your waist. And that just helped. I mean, my sales were great. Everything was going great at the time there.
Yeah. Work-wise.
Work-wise.
Yeah.
Work-wise. And I think most alcoholics, myself, I dove into work.
Yeah.
Because when I went home, it was a totally different thing. It was like, I'm out of that. I'm now here, and now I'm depressed, and now I'm angry, and all these emotions were coming out. But at work, that facade, let's go, that's where I was at.
Yeah, and you probably thought at the moment that you had both separated, that that one didn't affect the other. You were at work, you were fine, and
nobody was gonna know.
Nobody was gonna know until
I got on the phone and started. And then that was.
Yeah, talk about your pattern at that moment. You would go to work, you come home, you'd start drinking.
As soon as I walked in the door, it was like. What's scary about it? It was my body knew. My body knew what time it was.
Yeah.
My body would start to shake. Like, okay, it's 10:30. Why don't you have something in your system yet?
Yeah.
And brushed that aside. Got up the next day, felt like crap. I would kind of run it out. But at the same time, I was just hurting my inside. I didn't really realize it because I felt like I'm still young.
Yeah.
No, your body, my body was taking a toll. My body was getting tired. I wasn't eating because you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
You want to. It was the liquid diet.
No.
And then it got worse.
Yeah. And talk about the evening calls that coworkers would receive from you, and that was my first indication that something was off. Was wrong.
You asked me, were you drunk? And I'm like, oh, he knows. He found out.
Yeah.
Other people, other friends might have laughed it off.
Yeah.
But you, the fixer, it went.
Yeah.
Something's going on here. Something's going on here. Your radar was correct.
It was correct. It was, and we talk about this in retrospect and in our more recent conversations that, there was no getting through to you. There was no one who was there was no one steering the ship. So, it'd be like I would be like, Yvette, you're going to run into that iceberg over there, but you would be actually down below the deck. You'd be like, your ship's going to crash, and you'd be like, I hear what you're saying, but, I'm going to finish this drink, or I'm going to do whatever. There was no getting through to you. And I remember where the lines became blurred between your outside of work and your inside of work, Yvette, was being able to smell it on you. And here in the Central Valley, it gets really hot in triple digits. And, Yvette would sometimes get dropped off, or she would take the bus, or she would, have to walk a little bit. And so it gets a little musty. Gets a little musty, and so she would come into work, and you can start to smell the liquor through her. And the thing is, and this is kind of where having really good people around you is important, to not let to have the support system. And at work, everybody knew, everybody smelled what I smelled, everyone got the drunk text, but nobody ever told you anything. Nobody ever said to you, you know what, Yvette, maybe you should stop. It was like an open secret that everyone knew. And I felt like nobody's telling Yvette that she's not wearing any clothes. It's like the emperor's new clothes. Yvette thinks that everything's fine. Everybody says, oh, good for you, Yvette, great job. But no one's telling you that you're actually standing there with no clothes on. And I was just be like, why isn't anybody telling Yvette? Like, why isn't anybody letting her know that she's, that she needs to get some help? And that's just not, for me, and I've apologized to Yvette for this is I don't understand addiction. Yes, addiction has affected my life through a family member, but I'm not an addict. I don't understand the addict's mind. So I just see a friend in need.
You are very, very lucky.
Yeah.
Because the addict's mind is constantly thinking and thinking and thinking. How am I going to get that next thing?
Yeah. Yeah. When was the turning point for you? When did you switch? Because I knew there, it amped up. What was the turning point for you from wine to hard liquor, and what triggered that?
My sons. When I couldn't hide those wine bottles. They were too damn big. They would search my purse, and they were done. They were like, no. They would grab it, open it, and just pour it down the sink. Not even that.
Yeah.
But it switched to vodka. Ugh. And I can't even stand to look at a bottle.
Yeah.
And to see it, because I still run, and where I live, there's like these little bottles, they're good for one drink.
Yeah.
Those little pints, they're good for a couple of drinks. They're scattered everywhere I run. And I see them, and I'm like, remember I used to drink that like nothing. It was like it's a $2 drink.
Yeah.
It switched.
But it was a smaller bottle though.
It was a small, easy. I was very, the alcoholic. I would put it in my bra. Think I would, stop at a liquor store right before I got home, put it in my bra, then search my purse. They didn't find it.
No.
And I remember listening to them go, how is she drunk? I searched her purse.
Right. I've
put it inside dresses. Dresses are easy. You can hide.
Anything in a dress.
I could walk in. Winter was, awesome. I put it in my arms.
Yeah.
It was easy. When I started drinking liters, that's when I wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
And that's when you saw me. That was the end of my when I was drinking liters.
Yeah. So it was spiraling.
It was.
Yeah. Now you mentioned your boys, and Yvette has 3 handsome, talented young men. She's a proud mother of 3 amazing boys. I want you to talk to me how has your alcoholism affected your family?
When I was drinking, the apartment, everywhere I was, it was so dark. It was just dark.
Yeah.
It was such a low frequency, such a low vibration that it was stagnant. Like the air was just stagnant. It just sat there. The boys sat there, I was their only hope, and I wasn't doing it. I was not doing it.
my best friend of 20, like, maybe even 30 years, because now we're old.
You're not. Let's not go there. Let's not reveal your age, huh?
I know, but since I was 18, no, since I was 16, my best friend, she told me, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. That was my only hope, like my only rock. My parents, they lived far, they lived in Mendota. Nobody knew of my darkness except probably my kids, what they saw.
Mm-hmm.
But alcohol, all it did was give me more darkness. Yeah. And I drank to get drunk. I drank to numb. I drank to not feel. But in the morning, it was still there. It was still there. That pain. Yeah. I had so much pain, but I was causing my own pain.
Yeah. And, just from the outside looking in, and if, this is what we, me and Yvette talk about now, is that, you see somebody that you love, you see them, all their potential, and you see them just throwing it away, that they're just, like you said, self-destruction. Mm-hmm. And you just feel so helpless, So as helpless as you're feeling, the people on the outside who are rooting for you feel so helpless. And one of my spiritual mentors, and he told me, sometimes you have to watch people burn. You have to step away. As much as you love them, as much as you want to help them, you have to watch them burn. And, me and Yvette talk about this now. It's like, I had a moment where I had to step away, and I had done everything as a friend could do to try and, yeah.
You tried. It.
Yeah.
It had to come from me.
Yeah,
you didn't
absolutely.
understand. You were like, I don't understand.
Yeah, we had a lot of fallouts. We had a lot of blow-ups with each other, and my frustration and hurt and anger came from the fact that I didn't understand why she was doing this, because she would have a few successes. She would, she got her own place. She started, making a little bit more money. She started, putting her little apartment together, and she was with her boys, and things were starting to work out for them. And then she would just have these setbacks. She would take 2 steps forward and take 20 steps back. And I never could understand that none of the successes could bring light to her darkness. So I just, I reached a point with her where I just said, I can't, I had to just cut all ties from her. And I still, that's one of the things that I struggled with for a long time, because I had so much love for you. I was rooting for you. It was like seeing something that you invested in and just being like, I'm going to let it go. I had invested a lot of time and energy and love into her, and I just had, much like a lot of people in her life at that time, had to let her go and had to, let her burn.
Exactly. And it came down to the very last person.
Yeah.
It came down to that. And
was that your rock bottom? You think at that moment? Yeah.
That was. My body hurt. I knew if I had maybe one more week, I really don't think.
Yeah.
My back was killing me. I know. I'm not gonna, I don't accept any virus. I don't accept anything gonna happen to me. I'm dying of old age. I already said that. Put that out there.
And you're never gonna get cancer because you cry so much.
Because I release all my toxins.
Right, through her tears.
All the toxins come out.
Yes.
They do not stay inside.
No.
Let me tell you. I cry when I'm happy.
She does.
I do.
She's a chillona.
I am.
I
am. And I accept that fully, like I said. And that's what I tell everybody. I release my toxins by these tears. All of those toxins, all that artificial sugar and all that.
Yeah,
It's coming
it's
out.
her Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi.
It's coming out through them
Light
tears.
ice, please. Yes.
Yeah.
January 10th, 2017.
What was significant about that day?
I don't know, but you know what? That was an amazing day.
That was the day.
That was the day. That was the day, 10 days into the new year. I remember it was raining like a son of a gun.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not doing it anymore. And I told my son, my youngest, I said, I'm going to AA. I didn't have no money for rehab. I didn't have $20,000 or anything like that. I'm going to AA and I'm going to go 90 days. 90 meetings. 90 meetings. 90 days. And 90 and 90. And if anybody that has ever tried to stop any addiction, they know what a 90 and 90 is. And I said, my days off, I'm going to do 2. My best friend, next day, I told her what I was going to do. She's like, we're going.
Yeah.
It was like the enemy was trying to stop me because we could not find this one place. We could not find it. It was so weird. And, and you know, once they close their doors, they close their doors.
Right.
And it had an address on East Shields. Okay, so it kept saying East Shields, but it kept coming to this abandoned place.
Oh.
But apparently, right across the street is an East Shields where, yes,
okay.
and we found it by the minute. And it was like the lady knew. She was like, come in. And I turned around and I said, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. This is how I know.
And what's your friend's name?
Melissa.
That's Melissa. Could you just share with us what it is that Melissa told you that just made something click, that just made something inside of you change? Thank you, Melissa.
I can't do it anymore, Yvette. I can't. And I knew.
You knew what she meant.
I knew what she.
Yeah.
Well, I always say, because we're both born on the 9th. She's born on May 9th. I'm born on August 9th. And I just said, when we first met, it was like a long lost sister.
Yeah.
Clicked.
Yeah.
She knew. Everything about us. We were just like sisters.
Yeah.
We would call each other sister.
Yeah.
And she said she couldn't do it anymore.
Bring your mic a little closer.
And she said, I can't do it anymore. I knew that was it. And I couldn't lose my...
You couldn't lose one of your soulmates. You know, we always think of soulmates as, you know, like a romantic thing, but a soulmate can be just somebody that is just a familiar soul, you know, and she was one of your soulmates.
Yes.
You couldn't lose her. Yeah.
No. And I still have her.
Yeah, she's still there. She's
Thank
still
God.
there. So
she's amazing. She's just an amazing person.
And so you went to that first meeting. What was that first meeting like?
It was like, I'm home.
Yeah.
It was like, I stood up and I never was that type of person to talk in front of 1,000 people, but I was going to talk. I was going to say it. And and it felt good. It felt good to say, oh, yeah, I drink this, that, and this, but I need to stop. I want to stop. I'm going to. You can do. There's a lot of times you would say, why can't you just stop?
Yeah.
And I thought, how can I live without it? I am.
Yeah. It's just that's, you know, as powerful as the mind is for
It
something
is.
positive, to be positive with the mind can be so destructive.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing. I always tell everybody
But the mind.
about the mind, about
Yeah.
the brain, about the operating system, the thing between my two ears.
Yeah.
I tell it every night. I love you. I love you for not giving out. You know, there's times where I struggle where like, who's that? But my mind is still there. My mind is amazing.
It is. And, you know, you mentioned earlier about, you know, the low frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we talk about the low frequency and the higher vibration and the lower
Yes.
vibration. And, you know, the lower frequencies and the lower vibration is where negativity lies.
Yes.
And so when you were saying that, it was like, that's the best way to describe. And, you know, Yvette's energy, the best way to describe it at that time is it was just really low and it was really ugly.
It wasn't.
The energy was
pretty.
very
Because I'm not that. I wasn't that. I am not that person.
you're not that bitch, huh?
I am not. I am
You're
not that
bitch.
person.
And that's
You know.
the thing. Everybody sees that, like, you know, operating outside of your who you are, and that's why it's so odd that we're like, well, why is she doing that? That's not Yvette. You know, people who've known you for such a long time, they're like, that's not Yvette. And, you know,
It wasn't. It was. But that chapter, even though going through it, it has put me to where I am now, and my new discovery, and the way of living now is. If I didn't have that, if I didn't, like I tell Melissa, if I didn't have that darkness, I wouldn't be on this different journey now.
exactly.
I needed that. Something maybe, I don't know if it's in my ancestors, because I heard that my grandfather on my dad's side was an alcoholic. You know, everything, especially in my culture, everything is hush hush.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about
We don't
those
talk
things.
about those
Yeah.
things. And he didn't tell me until actually my mom told me that there was a couple of times that they had to go and pick him up from the bar. So
Yeah.
if I am stopping this for me and my grandpa, we're stopping it.
Yeah.
I know that you know, my son drinks. But I'm not excusing it. I just know that it's on both of his side, which on his father's side and his mother's side, that has this disease.
Yeah.
He's seen a lot. He's seen growth too. So
And
I wish him well.
I want to ask you, you know, we always, you know, in order to learn, in order to evolve, you know, we have to, you know, take a look back sometimes, and we have to look back at our journey to know where it's brought us to at this very moment. So I want to ask you, in looking back at your journey that's brought you to this moment and the disease, what was left in your path of destruction? And I just want to say that Yvette, one of the first things that she did is, and I think it's something that you guys do in AA, is write letters to people that you hurt. And honestly, that was one of the most bravest things I think you ever did, is having to write those letters, because Yvette, in her letter, if you don't mind me sharing, but, you know, she apologized for what her behavior, and, you know, she just was, I remember it's like 2 or 3 pages long, and the most heartfelt thing about it is that she read it out loud to me, and it came straight from her heart. Like, it was just an apology at such a deep level, and I just want to thank you for that, because honestly, once I understood, I didn't feel a need for apology, you know, because I understood that it wasn't you that I was upset with, but I was upset with your disease. Yeah.
And I understand being a child of alcoholism.
Yeah.
I totally understand. You know, a lot of a lot of my thinking is my children now. Okay. They're children of an alcoholic. They're either going to go this way or they're going to go that way. They're going to want to fix. They've been through so much. It's like they have already lived a life of a 50-year-old man. That's what I really told Mark. You've already lived a life of a 50. You had to become my husband.
Yeah.
He had to become that. He had to become a father of my sons.
Younger sons.
He just had to man up at such a young age to help mom, because mom was.
Yeah, and I know that that was a lot of the guilt that you lived with. Really would surface when you were in really deep into your disease. Is you would do what you would do, and then you would feel guilty for it, and it was just a vicious cycle.
It was a cycle.
It's like, well, I'm guilty, so I'm gonna drink, and then it's like it just.
That was an excuse too.
Yeah.
We had alcohol. Me as an alcoholic, that was just an excuse. Oh, she pissed me off today. I'm gonna drink this whole bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
That's no.
Yeah. And
what's scary is, and I don't mean to interrupt, is now with social media, it is so accepted to get drunk, wasted. It's so acceptable to. I saw this guy, Jack. I saw this guy. You know that Ciroc bottle?
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Ciroc, yeah.
Okay. Now I have drank a liter before. He drank that whole bottle, and I think to myself, and then I do that. I put myself, I know his back is probably, he's not going to be doing good. He's in his young 20s, but there's nothing I can do about it. I want to save everybody, especially coming out of. You want to save everybody. I follow a lot of sober people, and when they talk about their 600th day, when I was at my 90 days and I saw 600 days, I never thought that I could.
Yeah.
I never thought. I'm coming up on my 900.
Yeah.
900 days. I really celebrate it. And I remember I got a message Everybody has been so loving,
supportive.
Yeah. But there's always one, right? And there is this guy, he messaged, why are you celebrating it? I had to hold back, and I said, if you only knew. And then I said, but obviously you don't. And that was it. I didn't have to explain anything, but I just said, if you only knew. If you only freaking knew how much I feel, how ecstatic I feel for making it another day. I love waking up without a freaking hangover.
Yeah.
I need my sleep now.
You do.
If I'm sleeping in, it's not because I'm hungover.
Yeah.
It's because this old lady is tired.
She needs her rest. Right.
I'm tired, damn it.
And one of the turning moment that I noticed for you was that you started sharing your sobriety. Yeah, and I would I would get annoyed with Yvette because I knew that she was in it, and she'd be posting on Facebook and Instagram all these selfies and wonderful life, and I just was like, what is she doing? The day before, this, but the moment that she started sharing her sobriety, I thought, that she's living her authentic self, and that's something that I talk about.
A lot of people were. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Tell me what living your authentic life looks like right now. What does that look like? Let's remember our microphone. You're over here. You're over there.
Oh God, this is me.
All over the place.
All over the place. How many times do I have to hear that? Oh, Yvette, you're all over the place. Well, I have so many things that are going on in my mind. I feel like I am living it. For one thing, I am chunky, but I feel healthy. I don't feel 45. I, let's go running and let's see who's really 45.
I've gone running with her. And you know what? She ain't the fastest.
I'm not fast.
She's not the fastest bitch on the block, but she's slow and steady when it's a race.
It's like slow and steady.
Yeah, she's slow and steady. She gets it. Now, living your authentic self, living your best life. What does that entail for you? I know you're into jogging and doing marathons.
I'm
what
writing.
has that done for you?
I write.
And you're writing, yeah.
I write a lot. I write about the day. I try to be. No, I don't try to be funny. I am funny.
Yeah.
And some of the things that happen to me during the day, it's funny. I can laugh about it. And maybe 3 years ago, it would have been so dramatic for me. Mm-hmm. And I would have drank to it. Yeah. But
you remember what my nickname was for you?
I feel like I'm on my way up. Like, things amazingly are manifesting for me that.
Yeah. And I remember having this conversation with you because we talk about manifesting
intentions.
Intention work and
let it go. Give it to the universe.
And I remember
tell
the universe what you want. And I am
now specific because the universe, she has.
Yeah.
I've given her just like a little
general.
General, and she's thrown me back. I'm like, no, girlfriend, that is not. Okay, let me be specific.
And I told her, I remember telling Yvette this. I said, nothing's going to happen for you unless you change what your intentions are for things.
And,
if you're gonna,
my mind.
Right. If you're gonna operating in that spot, mm-hmm. the universe ain't gonna send you shit. Mm-hmm. But the moment that you started, and I saw the shift, things started happening for you when you became sober, when you changed your mind, when you started being positive about your life.
Positive.
Yeah.
Remember? You're like, Yvette, you just said like 5 negative things, and I'm like, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, she didn't understand.
And you know what? That talk is exactly what I do now. I just heard you say 3 negative things.
Right.
Why? What big is going to happen to you when you just said 3 negative things? Nothing is going to happen for you.
Yeah, I would tell her, Yvette, tell me something good. I would be like, tell me something good that happened. Tell me something that.
You would say like about myself, and I was like.
You'd be like, ugh, my legs, or ugh, this, and I'm like, well, what do you like about the way you look? Give me something that you enjoy. So I'm gonna ask you this question again. Mm-hmm. In the new Yvette, actually not even the new Yvette, the Yvette who's always been here, mm-hmm. who's back and ready to conquer the world.
Ooh.
Tell me 3 things that you like about yourself.
3 things. I love that I'm a positive person now. I mean, even more positive than I could ever be. I love the fact that I'm healthy. I love the fact that I think I have really great genes. I really do. Like, I love the fact that I don't have veins on my legs.
No varicose veins, no spider veins. Hey.
I love the fact that I could see positive things in people. I feel like I am Jack Jr. because those words are now coming out of my mouth. Yeah. Exactly what you have.
I created a positive monster, to say, with the hair, with the makeup, with the. Can I just Can I put you on blast for a second? Because I like to put
He loves this.
I love putting on blast.
Okay.
But I just want everyone to just picture for a second. They see this beautiful young woman here with all this vibrancy and all of this vivacity. And I just want to give him a snapshot of what I saw.
Okay. Oh, do you have a picture?
I'll insert one. I can insert one here.
Well, for your other guest, you had the artwork and everything.
I can do that. You want me to do that? Okay.
pretty pictures, but with the
I can't make any guarantees. I can't make any guarantees, but I would always, and this is like Yvette had mentioned, being stuck, just being stuck.
Yeah.
And she was, her
I
hair
thought it
and
was-
her makeup, she thought she had it going on.
I thought it was Pamela
Yeah.
Anderson.
That's what she was going for.
Shut up.
But it just kind of speaks. It's like when you kind of get stuck, in an era where you felt the most beautiful.
Yeah, I did.
When
Back in
your
those
heyday
days.
was back, in the late 80s, early
The late
90s, she
80s,
had it
early
going
90s.
on.
Yeah, I had that little time gap.
Yeah. So she was, she was definitely stuck with the bleach blonde hair. And when I'm talking bleach blonde,
Yeah.
it was nowhere near Pamela.
Ugh. It was
Frosty lips.
It like Wanda from In
Yeah,
Living Color.
From A Living Color. Yep. Frosty lips, black eyeliner, as down as you can go.
Wow.
No eyebrows, no blush.
No eyebrows.
No eyebrows. It was just
right.
natural. They
And
were kind
I
of
thought,
thick.
oh no, you should have seen. I saw some pictures. Oh man, I had thin eyebrows, and I wasn't
She had
even
those
a chola.
Yeah, it was that Mendota fly girl look, huh? And yeah, she was, she was into fashion. She liked dressing
Come on,
up.
I was from a small town. Leave me alone.
But I was doing her. I was like, "Oh, come over early so I can do your makeup." And she
And
comes
it was
over,
like
and I was like, "Excuse you, Miss Natural, bronzed, all looking like nice
yes.
lashes, a natural eye."
I know. What are
And
you?
she's trying to school me. She goes, "I don't want no wing liner. I don't." I was like, "Okay, Miss. I showed you everything you know about makeup," and she's telling me. But, she came in, she was done. I said, and this is the girl, never wear a ponytail. Her hair would never be in her face. We're talking teased, teasing it,
hair,
curled,
always.
layers.
Oh, and then I've been sporting the hot bun.
Yeah? The messy top knot bun.
No, not that wasn't me, but now it is.
Yeah, she would
And-
I would try and do it for her. I would be like, I'm going to do your makeup like this. I'm going to tweeze your eyebrows. I would make her pull her hair back. The only thing, though, that she refuses to do to this day,
Can't do
she will
it.
not do a red lip. Even though I think she looks great in it. And I have pictures. I might insert some, too. But, yeah, she actually took, when she was in a better place, it
Yeah.
made sense to you because I don't think at that time you were just like, I don't think you could even deal with that change at that time. It was too much.
It was too much.
It was too much for you.
Yeah,
It was too much change.
To moisturize, primer, then foundation, then bronzer, then air. No,
Yeah, it was
people
too
can't
much.
believe how long it takes me to
Yeah.
get ready now.
And before, she would get ready in the car to work 15 minutes.
I
And
still
she'd be.
do. I still do. Those are.
But
just
you're
like the-
finishing up, though.
I'm finishing up.
We're talking going from a zero face used to
Yes.
do to in the car, put your entire face on in like a 15-20 minute ride.
Where is my makeup artist? I think I need to
You need to
touch up.
I think you're okay. You're
I'm
okay.
okay. This is very natural.
Yeah, it is very natural.
My
but it looks
contacts
good, though.
are my contacts are funky.
Oh, do I look good? Am I looking
You
good
look
right now?
right. Look at you.
But yeah, so tell me,
Okay.
we talk about the journey, and I always ask all my guests about the journey. Do you even feel, because you started your family young, you got married young. Do you even feel like you started your journey until you started your sobriety? Is that when you feel like you actually started your journey?
I would say that was a different journey. That was a different journey.
Okay.
I think it started once I left in the divorce.
Yeah.
That was I like I said, that bird.
Yeah.
She didn't know.
She
She
didn't
didn't know
have-
where to fly. She didn't know.
Yeah.
She didn't know what was out there. She just didn't. And she was so. I mean that little cage was all she knew.
You know what I want to know? I want to know, what does the healing journey look like for you? Because you do a lot of healing work on yourself. What does that look like?
What does it look like?
Yeah, what do you do? What is involved in your healing?
I can't wait to get home at night. I put my earphones on and I listen to, there's like guided meditations. I listen to different frequencies. That is my time. And it's like my time to digress from the day, or if that even is even a word, but just relax. It is my time. I feel like when I do wake up in the morning, because I fall asleep with my headphones and I wake up with it, but that is my time and I enjoy it. I feel the vibration, the frequency. That's why when I talk about that, it's like I love to tone down. Like it'll be like this frequency that it's, and there's even times where they kind of meditation, it's like just raindrops, nothing but the raindrops, and it's just like wow. And
helps
then
to quiet your
it
mind.
just quiet the mind.
Yeah.
But it honestly can take you anywhere you want. Like my guided meditations. I mean, I literally fall asleep to the point where I like Baba's going on. I'm like, where am I? What? Oh, okay. I enjoy it though.
What about the writing?
That is all day long. I can write all day long too. Especially like if I'm at work and I'm feeling something because I don't want to forget it. I need to write. It's just it's something. It's an outlet.
Yeah.
It's a different outlet.
It's a different outlet. Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. Like, I would love to play an instrument. When my middle child, Jacob, he can just grab a guitar and just all day long just doing this, and it just sounds like a melody. If I pick that up, I would love it. I know, I would love it. But you know what? I like to listen to music, and I'll start
drum into it. Yeah.
I'll do my own little drum. I think that I know that I'm playing drums, and I'm going, oh yeah, and I'm going. That's a different thing. Music is just amazing.
What about the reading? And you do a lot of reading.
I do. I mean,
what do you read?
I am currently reading a book about a girl that got a divorce and all that great stuff. I don't know why I gravitate to those type of things, but I think it's because of to listen to their journey. Everybody has their own journey. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So my journey, obviously.
Yeah, it took a few detours. A few
like
bumps.
In San Francisco, the one
Lombard.
Yeah, that's mine.
That's your journey, all over the
Oh,
place.
but I made it out though, right? But I do read a lot. I like to listen to. I like to listen to podcasts.
You've been listening to mine?
Yes, I have. I put my I love my headset.
Oh yeah, I know she does listen to him because she's like, make sure that I have good lighting, and make sure you don't do
These
this like you did
umbrellas.
to her. And I'm like, okay, I didn't realize I had a celebrity in the house.
You created the celebrity.
I did create this local celebrity. Now,
Just want to
another thing that I always ask my guests is the higher self. Connecting with the higher self. What does that look? What is your higher self?
My higher self.
And do you connect with him?
Always with me.
Okay.
I'm always listening to. I hear my own voice.
Yeah.
It's my own voice. It's my and it is always right on. It is always right on. Even if it's, you know what, go over here. No, don't go over here. Or there is what's amazing, and I'm not seeing anybody, talking to anybody, anything. But this one particular person just so interested me. My freaking higher self was saying, no, screaming. I would get like anxiety when I would just message him. My higher self was all over the place with this person. And you know what?
Did you listen to them?
Yes,
You
I
did?
did. Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. You're still single?
But it's so
She's single, guys, just so you know.
very,
She's a single lady.
No, but you know, there's always that one person that is so dreamy, but.
And that's, that's good that you brought that up because, part of your journey from what it seems is just getting a lot of self-love because that's what you lacked.
Yes.
In your life was
Yeah.
the self-love. Do you feel like you're at a point right now where you're
I
ready?
know my worth.
Are you ready to share that with somebody, or do you feel like you still need? You're
I
still
think there's
working on yourself.
one more thing that I have to work on as far as I think my higher self is telling me
What are
that
they?
once this is in line,
All right.
it
You want to share
it's
that with
time.
us? What is it?
Once I become this assistant manager, once I become that, and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The next
Steps.
the next chapter.
Let's get you a man, huh? Get you some love in your life.
Would be nice.
Get you some outside love. You already got the self-love going on.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I honestly am the most proud of you, is because I really see that you truly are loving yourself. You make yourself a priority and you understand. That's the part that is like, like I was talking in my podcast with Chloe, is like, that's the last love that we learn. Is to love ourselves. You love your kids, you love your parents, you love your siblings, but you were the bottom of the list on the love to love. Be right. Like, what about me? Oh yeah, I got to start loving myself, and that's the part that I see you doing, and that makes me smile because when I first knew you didn't have that.
Oh gosh, no.
You didn't have any of that.
I could not say one nice thing about myself.
Nope.
That is so sad.
Yeah.
And at that time, even when I was married and I remember my sister-in-law, she noticed that right away. She was like, Yvette, you say nothing but bad things about yourself. And when I put on the spot, especially from an outside, like if my mom were to no, my mom wouldn't say that. I was like thinking, my mom kind of helps me with what I need to work on. But that's where I now say, gosh, Mom, all you said was this, this, and this. You didn't even say this about me.
Yeah.
Now I recognize that. And now I can say.
Yeah.
And then she recognizes, because a lot of times it's just passed on. It's just like, oh,
that was your dynamic.
Exactly. And that's not what I want to teach my boys. Oh, believe me, today I had another moment. Okay. It was like, thank you, God. It's thank you, my angels. Thank you, God. Adam comes home and he bought himself a bed. My kids are the best and stuff like that. And I go, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you, Adam. I know those words.
Yeah.
Those words so help.
Yeah. They were so strange to you, foreign to you.
They were very foreign to me.
And now say it with so naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't I tell my son?
Yeah. And the thing is like, you think that, and like, if you see Yvette, like, she loves her children. Like, I know that you're proud of them, but, saying it is so powerful. To be able to say it, to be able, and the fact that you couldn't say it just because you didn't feel, it was like, you felt guilty of like you couldn't tell them that because you had, the guilt of like what you put them through.
Yes.
Like, and I think, in my observation, it was like you wanted them to be proud of you. And the thing is that you had that moment. Talk to me about that moment, like where you were X amount of days into your sobriety, and I forgot who it was who told you, but they said, you know what?
They wrote it down, and I still have it. I still have it. I'm proud of you, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jacob is
a big. He's the one who is very vocal about it. This is the one who doesn't like, alcohol and anything. He doesn't like that. He used to love to eat. Okay, now food was
his addiction.
He used to drink Dr. Peppers like no other. He used to eat so much. That was his kind of addiction. He's lost 70 pounds.
He looks great.
I know. Cut his hair.
I know.
Cut his hair. Has this
Invisalign, yeah.
Is telling me, told me the other day we went to the store and I wanted shrimp. It's like, okay, you can't put butter and you can't put oil, so and he Googled it. You could cook it with water. I'm like, okay, let's try it. I was like, oh hell no. It was like chewy. It was not good. Then and the next batch, I cooked it with butter. I cooked it in butter. In there, a little butter. No butter. I was like, oh my gosh, but.
And let me ask you something, because what I've noticed is that since you started on your sober journey, it appears that like the boys just blossomed
all
after
of
that.
them.
What impact did you feel? Yeah.
It was me. I was holding this like that, like I said, that stagnant air that nobody was moving.
Yeah.
Nobody was moving. And I was tired of saying I'm sorry. And I said that to them. I said, I am not going to tell you I'm sorry anymore, because those words don't mean shit to you anymore.
Right.
I'm just going to prove it to you.
Bravo. Yeah.
Exactly. And honest to God, like my 90th day, Jacob's like, I'm so proud of you. Little notes. He took me, we went and ate. Him and his friends. His friends are amazing too. You know, God places people right then at the right time. I swear they've helped him. They've guided him.
Yeah.
And, you know, he needed that guidance. And this was a kid that was in a room for like a year.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of him too, you know. I'm so proud of his transformation. And all of them they're all coming about. Mark and his band, it's like, you know, he's into metal. He's laying floors. You know, I was in the flooring business for 14 years.
I know.
And now he's laying floors. You know how the cycle, that's just amazing to me. It's just amazing. I'm like, oh my God. And I start talking about, you know, what type of material he's using and the baseboards. Oh my God, what kind of flooring are they using? And
yeah, you get home.
he's like, Mom,
chill. Pump your brakes.
No,
Mom.
he's just like me. He brought remnants home. He brought a remnant of carpet home.
She likes her a good remnant.
I love my remnants. Oh, you guys are not gonna use that? I'll take it.
I'll take it. Yeah.
But
where do you go from here? What's the next step?
Okay.
What's the future look like for
me?
Yvette?
I think no. And I've always put this out in the universe unconsciously, saying, you know, if I need to move, I need to move.
Yeah.
I think it'll be best for me. I seriously think that moving would be a great thing, a great opportunity. I have a voice message from my district manager that I'm kind of like waiting to hear, but I had to do this podcast first because I
was on her ass.
It was exactly because
I
was supposed to do it last week, but I got called in.
Yes.
Screenshotted that.
She did because she knew I would come for her. You knew I'd come for you, huh?
But oh my God. Since day one, since I surrendered and said, this is it, it has been nothing but positive days. Met great people.
Yeah.
Lessons and blessings.
Yes.
You know, I just feel like it's time for that little bird
Yeah.
that knows now how to fly, maybe
Yeah.
direct. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go this
I know.
way.
Let's go this way.
Let's go
Yeah.
this way.
Follow me.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful.
That's awesome.
I know from
That's
somebody
awesome.
who thought, honestly, that alcohol was not a way of life, but was a way of socializing. You know, when I do go and socialize, when I can, you know, I understand a lot of times maybe I'm not going to be that same girl anymore. Of course, I'm not going to be the blah, 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 blah girl anymore that people maybe are used to or like seeing. Because for some people that thought that was okay, kind of question that type of friendship or that type of, you thought that was okay, girl? You know, if my girl was like making a fool out of herself, I would say, come on. You're my friend. I'm not going to make you. You're not going to go out like that.
Yeah. And one of the last things that I really want to talk about is something that you always say, and you still consider yourself an alcoholic. You talk about it like, I have this disease, I'm an alcoholic. Is that important when you're in recovery, when you're recovering, to never forget that just because you're not drinking and it's been X amount of years or X amount of months or days?
My thing is, and I tell everybody this, I'm allergic to alcohol. That's the best thing that I could come up with that somebody could understand. I'm allergic to penicillin. So what happens if I take penicillin? I break out in hives.
Yeah.
What happens when I drink alcohol? I break out into a freaking ugly mess. I used to be the fun girl, and the fun girl went to the angry girl. I've been 86 out of a bar. Who wants to be 86? I am not 21. I'm a grown-ass woman, you know? And I can't go into a certain bar. That's kind of not cool in my sight.
Yeah.
When I say I'm an alcoholic, I am an alcoholic. That disease doesn't go away. But I'm thankful for my disease. Say that because this is the disease that I can control. People with cancer, people with other diseases, they can't control that type of disease.
Right.
They have to do all of that. If this is my disease, I accept it. Thank you, God. I accept it because I am in control.
Yeah.
And if I want to be sick, then I'll drink. But I don't feel like being sick. And I told my best friend about that. You know, if this is the disease that I'm given, if I was given cancer, or if I was given alcohol, being an alcoholic, I'm thankful. I am.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through chemo. I've seen what has done to family members, and they're not here. Yeah. And I am.
Right.
So I'm gonna make the best of my disease, and I choose not to drink anymore.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's so good to hear maybe others that are suffering when they message me and they say, "Hey, I've been drinking a lot." I'm here for you, if you need to talk, because a lot of times people that don't have the disease don't understand.
Yeah.
But that person is not going to stop until it's their day,
Right.
And I tell them that too.
Yeah.
You're going to know when it's that day. I can guide you. I can tell you, all the great things there is, but until you say, okay, I can't do it anymore. There's a lot of Yvettes out there that are suffering, and I understand.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell anybody I was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
A lot of people that are still drinking are in denial, but I ain't judging them. You can do whatever you want. I just know when you're sick, like me, I was sick. I was losing my hair, my teeth.
You're having a lot of issues.
I have a lot. I mean, down to the last tooth recently.
Mm-hmm.
My health was, my body was just breaking down.
Yeah.
I would see blotches. I would bruise easy. And now I'm taking all my vitamins and making sure.
Yeah. You still have your creamer though, huh? Hey, do you get the off-brand one, or it has to be the coffee?
Oh no, a coffee mate,
and
no.
The Folgers.
No. And Folgers, yes, the 100% Colombian now. We upgraded, thank you.
I remember.
It's brewed.
I remember one time we went to a Mexican restaurant. I went with Yvette, and
Man,
she's like, "Do you want?"
I'm blind, but I saw that red container like 3 miles away.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh my God, is it Folgers?" It was the red one too, which is the what? What is the red one?
The red one is the Folgers.
It's the green one is like decaf or something.
Decaf. Nobody wants no green. We want the red. But I remember I was talking to you with.
And she's like,
Folgers.
And then she drinks and she goes, "I knew it was
I
Folgers."
knew it, and when I drank it, it was like, oh yes.
And then it was, and now you upgraded to Folgers Colombian.
Yes, 100% Colombian. Thank you. Not the breakfast blend. Or
Not
anything the. No. 100% Colombian. And when we make our coffee, it has to be 3 full rounded scoops.
Who taught you that?
And we cannot use no tap water. We have to use our
filtered, bottled water.
Our bottled water.
Oh, okay.
All 3 of it, because there's 3 coffee drinkers.
Yeah, there would be family arguments about you didn't bring the creamer, who drank the last coffee. But hey, if those are the arguments you're having, you guys come a long way, right? You're arguing about the coffee and the creamer.
Coffee and the creamer. And guess what I have to take home?
What?
Creamer.
They already gave you a list?
It's my turn. We do a rotation, and Mark and Adam bought the last one, and he is very adamant of who's the next person.
He's got it lined up.
Yes,
he knows the order and everything.
What day he brought it home? Tell you how much it was.
Oh,
Mark is just like, Mark, don't forget the coffee. All right, don't forget the coffee. All right. The 3rd time he'll bring the coffee. Adam is no, and if we don't have it, we are not.
You guys are not. Yeah, no. Yeah, and that the one of the things I noticed about and even though I was frustrated with it, is that you learn to set boundaries with people and learn to set. Be like, my time is important, and I gotta do what I gotta do. One time I said, I'm a very I'm very spur of the moment. So I just was like thinking about her, and I hit her up and I said, "Hey, let's go for breakfast. I'll pick you up." And she respectfully, she's like, if you're thinking of coming in 5 minutes, it's not going to happen. So if that was your plan, let's plan for another time.
For another time.
Right.
Give me 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours. I said, I will see you next time.
Yes,
I will see you next time, then.
But you know what? Honestly, and that was my problem in the past.
Yeah.
I allowed people to say,
yeah.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Hold up.
Okay, Jack, this is how it's going to be now.
Right.
And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was nice because now he knows. He's like, okay, 5:30,
I gotta let her know the day before she can put on her quinceañera dress and be ready to go.
Thank you.
And even though she won't be ready, but
they always make fun of me, especially at work, because even on my lunch or after work, like I'll have my flats, and then when I walk out the door, I'll put my heels on, and they're like, "You're just going." I might find my future husband. You just never know.
And without the extra height, he might not have saw me, right? But on that note, I want to again thank you so much for sharing your story and showing us a story of redemption, a story of better days to come.
Better days to come.
Better days to come.
Always,
Yes.
always. Tomorrow's even going to be a better day because it's going to be 100 degrees.
I know, this crazy woman likes the heat. You have any final thoughts or any final thing to say?
I would say again, well, thank you for having me here. I enjoyed telling my story because I know that there are other sick, other alcoholics like me that are hurting, maybe are isolating like I did. And I hope that they can reach out maybe to anybody or even me. I would love that.
You okay if I leave your information
Yes.
in the podcast? Okay,
Yeah, definitely.
Also to all the single men out there, throw that out there. You gotta be specific though for the universe.
Yes,
what kind
for
of
the
man you are. No old man with the grandpa socks.
Oh no, we can't have. No. Sorry, I have to be over 5 foot.
Yeah, and he can't wear socks.
White socks
with
no
dress shoes.
White socks, please. No white socks. Black socks.
Yes. Hear that, guys?
No, but thank you for having me. Thank you, really. Thank you for having me as a guest. I can't believe I'm even here. Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Look at you. I know. Who'd have thought?
Who would have
Who
thought?
would have thought? Miss Novella.
I know.
Miss Novella in the house. living her best life. Looking
best
her
life.
best.
I tried to.
Broke out in 1992 out of the freestyle the Living Color girl with the Roger Rabbit and the
Hey, don't make me dance.
high-waisted
now.
jeans.
Oh, hey, those are in now.
I know. The crop top.
Ooh.
Don't get you any ideas.
Not anymore.